Fear is not the enemy, stagnation is. Most people believe that in order to be fearless, they must eliminate all fear from their lives, but that's a myth. Fear is a natural response. It's part of being human. What matters isn't the fear itself, but how you respond to it. What keeps people from achieving greatness isn't fear, it's the refusal to move forward because of it. Stagnation is the real danger. It's that quiet, invisible grip that holds people back for months, years, even decades. It convinces you that playing it safe is better than trying and failing. It whispers lies like you're not ready, you don't have enough, or what if it doesn't work? And before you know it, you've spent half your life standing still, waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But the truth is, the perfect moment doesn't exist. The people who win in life are not the ones who wait for fear to disappear. They're the ones who move through it. They feel the fear, acknowledge it, but don't obey it. They act regardless, and here's the key: action kills fear. Every small step forward, every decision made in courage, chips away at the power fear holds over you. Stagnation, on the other hand, feeds fear. The longer you wait, the louder fear becomes. The longer you hesitate, the heavier it gets. Momentum is your best friend. Once you start moving, even if it's messy, even if you stumble, you begin to silence fear. Not because you're fearless, but because you're growing stronger than your fear. Growth is never found in comfort zones. It lives in action, in discomfort, in the risk you were too afraid to take yesterday. Fear might knock on your door every day, but you don't have to let it drive the car. You're in control. The ones who become fearless are those who refuse to stay stuck, who understand that fear is just a sign they are about to do something meaningful. So don't freeze, don't stall, don't let the weight of fear keep you chained to the same place. Move, speak, leap. Stagnation will rot your dreams, but forward motion, even the smallest kind, will start to wake them up again. That's how courage is built, not in the absence of fear, but in your refusal to stay where you are. Purpose is your anchor in chaos. When everything begins to fall apart, your plans, your confidence, your direction, it's easy to feel lost, overwhelmed, and consumed by fear. In these moments, people often look outward for stability, for reassurance from others, for perfect timing, for some kind of external control. But the truth is, the only thing that can truly hold you steady when the storms of life hit is a deep, unshakable sense of purpose. Purpose is what gives your struggle meaning. It's the reason you keep pushing when you have no guarantees. It's what makes pain bearable and failure a stepping stone. Without purpose, the smallest setback can feel like the end. But with it, even the greatest challenges become part of the path forward. Purpose reminds you why you started when you're tempted to quit. It speaks to your soul louder than fear speaks to your mind. It pulls you forward when doubt tries to drag you back, and here's the thing: your purpose doesn't have to be some grand, world-changing mission. It just has to be real. It has to be rooted in something bigger than comfort, something deeper than money or applause. When your heart is aligned with something meaningful, your family, your values, your faith, your impact, you become resilient. Life may still shake you, but it won't break you. Purpose makes you harder to stop. People who lack purpose chase comfort. People with purpose chase growth. One folds when things get hard, the other gets stronger, and when fear comes knocking, purpose stands guard. Fear says, "What if you fail?" Purpose replies, "Then I'll try again." If fear says, "It's too hard," purpose answers, "It's worth it." Fear says, "You're not enough." Purpose reminds you you're becoming. Purpose rewires your response to adversity. It transforms fear from a wall into a doorway. Suddenly, challenges aren't there to destroy you. They're there to develop you. Chaos will come, make no mistake about it. But when you are grounded in purpose, you don't panic. You don't fold, you refocus. You adapt, you endure, and eventually you rise. Because when your steps are powered by purpose, fear loses its grip. And no matter how loud the chaos becomes, your mission remains clear. You press on, not because it's easy, but because it matters. That's the kind of power purpose gives you, not just the strength to survive, but the courage to grow through anything. Pain is your teacher, not your prison. Too often, we're taught to avoid pain at all costs, to run from it, numb it, ignore it. But the truth is, pain is not your enemy. It's one of your greatest instructors. Every painful experience carries a lesson, a message, a seed of wisdom meant to grow you into a stronger, sharper version of yourself. But most people never get that far because they stop at the discomfort. They feel the sting of rejection, the burn of failure, the weight of disappointment, and they shut down. They let pain define them rather than refine them. But the fearless understand something different. Pain is feedback. It tells you where you need to grow, where you've been wounded, where healing and strength are still needed. It reveals your breaking points, and then it gives you a choice: break down or break through. The ones who become fearless aren't the ones who have never suffered. They're the ones who turned their suffering into strength. They studied their pain instead of suppressing it. They leaned in when others backed away, and in doing so, they discovered something powerful. Pain can be a passage to purpose. It's in the fire that character is forged. It's through the losses that resilience is born. You don't learn how to rise by always winning. You learn by falling and deciding to get up again, even when it hurts. Pain teaches you about what matters. It strips away what's superficial. It humbles you, sharpens you, deepens your understanding of life, people, and yourself. And perhaps most importantly, pain builds empathy. It teaches you to be gentle with others, because you've known your own silent battles, but you must be willing to face it. You must stop seeing pain as a punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Every setback, every scar, every tear, it's carving out space in you for greater strength, greater compassion, and greater wisdom. You grow through what you go through, not just because time passes, but because you choose to learn from it. Fear loses its power over people who no longer fear pain. When you've faced heartbreak and kept your heart open, when you've hit rock bottom and still found a reason to get up, you become dangerous. Not in a destructive way, but in an unshakable way. You've been through the fire and you came out refined. That's what makes you fearless. Not that you never felt pain, but that you transformed it into power. Self-belief is the loudest voice in the storm, when life tests you, when the noise of the world grows louder, when people doubt you, when failure surrounds you. The only thing that keeps you standing is the voice within. That inner voice is your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. And here's the truth: no matter how much external support you have, no matter how many motivational quotes you read, if you don't believe in yourself, none of it will matter. You can have all the talent, all the intelligence, all the opportunity. But if your internal voice is full of fear, doubt, and hesitation, you'll talk yourself out of your own greatness. The world will always have opinions. Some people will cheer you on, but many more will question your dreams, laugh at your goals, or tell you you're not capable. That's why you need to build a voice inside you that speaks louder than all of them. A voice that says, I am capable. I am worthy. I was made for more. And building that voice isn't about arrogance, it's about intention. It's about training your mind to focus on growth, not limitations, to focus on what's possible, not what's missing. Because when chaos hits, when the ground beneath you shakes, what you say to yourself matters more than anything. Fear shouts, you can't do this, but self-belief whispers back, watch me. It's not about ignoring your struggles. It's about trusting that you have what it takes to rise above them. It's about choosing to see yourself not as a victim of your circumstances, but as the architect of your response. And every day you either feed that inner belief or you starve it. You feed it when you keep promises to yourself. You feed it when you show up consistently, even on days you don't feel like it. You feed it when you speak kindly to yourself in the face of failure. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through action, through resilience, through choosing again and again to back yourself even when no one else does. The ones who become fearless aren't the ones with perfect lives. They're the ones who have learned how to lead themselves through the storm. They've trained their voice to be louder than the doubt, the fear, the criticism, and the failure. That inner voice becomes their compass, their engine, their fire. Because once you truly believe in yourself, the world's opinions lose their grip. Storms will still come, but they won't shake your foundation. You'll stand tall, not because the storm is over, but because your belief in yourself is louder than the thunder.